Good day. This is Activity 5, Role Play of Group 1, wherein Copra Janica L shall be the presiding officer, Berco John Romel is the secretary, while Suazo Mark Larkin and Viernes Lloyd shall be the members. The second General Assembly of the League of Political Science Students, school year 2020 to 2021, this December 8, 2020, is now convened. Mr. Secretary, are we in quorum?
Yes, Ms. Chair, we are in quorum by simple majority.
Since the Secretary has declared the meeting in quorum, we shall now proceed to the reading and consideration of the minutes. A copy of the minutes has been distributed through email for your consideration. Are there any corrections to the minutes?
None, Ms. Chair.
Hearing none, the minutes will stand approved as distributed. Let us now proceed with the committee report. Mr. Secretary, are there any reports from the standing committee?
Ms. Chair, the Procurement Committee will render a report.
Reporting member of the Procurement Committee, you may now state your report.
Ms. Chair, the Procurement Committee have discussed on some matters and will need consideration from the Assembly. A copy of the report has been distributed to the members through email for them to be guided upon deliberation. The report is about a recommendation to procure face masks along with its quality, cost, and design.
The Procurement Committee has recommended procuring face masks and it needs consideration from the Assembly. I believe with the report being distributed ahead of time, you now know the details of the said report. Is there any discussion?
None, Ms. Chair.
None, Ms. Chair.
Ms. Chair,
Yes, Mr. Berco.
I move for the adoption of the committee report of the Procurement Committee.
I second the motion.
I second the motion. Is there?
Yes, Mr. Suazo.
I move to postpone the consideration of the report to some other time.
I second the motion.
Mr. Suazo moved for the definite postponement for the consideration of the report, while Mr. Berco moved for its adoption. To postpone definitely takes precedence over the motion to adopt a report. Therefore, Mr. Berco's motion is rendered out of order. It has been moved and seconded that we postpone the consideration of the report to some other time. We will now discuss on when we shall have its consideration. Is there any discussion on the date?
Ms. Chair,
Yes, Mr. Berco.
I move that we shall have it on the Third General Assembly of the LPSS.
I second the motion.
It has been moved and seconded that we shall have the consideration for the committee report of the Procurement Committee on the Third General Assembly of the LPSS. Is there any discussion?
None, Ms. Chair.
None, Ms. Chair.
Ms. Chair.
With no further discussions, we shall now proceed on voting on the question. Are you ready for the question?
Yes, Ms. Chair.
Yes, Ms. Chair.
Yes, Ms.
As many as are in favor to postpone its consideration on the Third General Assembly, please raise your right hand. Those against, also raise your right hand. There being an evident two-thirds vote, the motion to postpone definitely is carried. Mr. Secretary, is there any report from the special committees?
None, Ms. Chair.
There being none, we shall proceed. For our unfinished business, the consideration of the question and the contribution for the LPSS polo shirt was interrupted in the last meeting by adjournment. We will have fill in the blanks on the amount.
Ms. Chair.
Yes, Mr. Viernes.
I move that we have 200 pesos each as contribution.
Mr. Viernes moved that the contribution for the LPSS polo shirt shall be 200 pesos. Is there any other discussion on the amount?
None, Ms. Chair.
None, Mr. Chair.
Is there any second?
I second the motion.
It has been moved and seconded that the contribution for the LPSS polo shirt shall be 200 pesos each. Now, are you ready for the question?
Yes,
Yes,
Ms.
Ms.
Chair.
Chair.
As many as are in favor to have 200 pesos each as contribution for the LPSS polo shirt, please raise your right hand. Those against, also raise your right hand. It is evident that the majority vote is in favor that the contribution for the LPSS polo shirt shall be 200 pesos. The motion is carried.
Miss Chair,
Yes, Mr. Suazo.
I move to amend the question and instead of 200 pesos, we shall have 400 pesos.
I second the motion.
Is there any other discussion?
None, Miss
Ms. Chair.
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 Mr. Suazo has proposed to amend the question and instead of 200 pesos, we shall have 400 pesos as contribution for the LPSS shirt and it has been seconded. So are you ready for the question?
Yes, Ms.
Yes,
Chair.
Ms. Chair.
Yes, Miss Chair.
As many as are in favor to amend the question that instead of 200 pesos, we shall have 400 pesos as contribution, please raise your right hand. Those against, please raise your right hand. So by a majority vote, the motion is carried on the amendment that instead of 200 pesos, we will have 400 pesos as contribution for the LPSS polo shirt. Now it will be treated as a main motion. Mr. Suazo, please discuss.
400 pesos is just the right amount for a polo shirt because 200 pesos would would not be a good quality shirt. 200 pesos is only for poor members and those who are pitiful.
Point of order, Ms. Chair.
Yes, Mr. Viernes.
The language the speaker is using is offensive and inappropriate.
Well taken. Mr. Suazo, please refrain from using offensive and inappropriate words and instead, please stay on the right track and focus on our motion.
I apologize, Miss Chair. I believe 400 pesos is just the right amount for a polo shirt because 200 pesos would not be good quality shirt and I believe all members deserve a good quality shirt.
So Mr. Suazo said that it is better to have a 400 pesos as contribution for LPSS shirt because it will have a good quality shirt compared to the 200 pesos. So is there any other discussion?
Ms. Chair,
Yes, Mr.
I move that we refer to the motion to the procurement committee.
I second the motion.
It has been moved and seconded that we refer the motion on the contribution of the LPSS polo shirt to the procurement committee. Is there any other discussion?
None, Ms.
None,
Chair.
Ms. Chair.
None, Miss Chair.
So are you ready for the question?
Yes, Ms. Chair.
Yes, Ms. Chair.
As many as are in favor to refer the motion to the procurement committee, please raise your right hand. Those against, also raise your right hand. With a majority vote, motion is carried. We shall refer the motion on the contribution of the LPS as follows to the Procurement Committee. With no unfinished business left, we will now go to our. It is about the parliamentary procedure training in all SK chairman in the municipality of Maramag. First, we shall discuss on when and where it will be. For fill in the blanks, are there any discussion on the date and the venue?
I move that we'll have it on the third week of January on the municipality of Maramag.
Mr.
Yes, Mr.
I move to divide the question to first vote on when it will be and then where will it be.
I second mo-
It has been moved and seconded that we divide the question. That we'll vote first on when it will be, and the next one will be on where it will be. Are you ready for the question?
Yes, Ms. Chair.
Yes, Ms. Chair.
Chair.
As many as are in favor to divide the question, please raise your right hand. Those against, please raise your right hand. So it is evident, and with a unanimous vote, we will now divide the question. So first, we will decide on when it will be. So any date from the members?
I move that we'll have it on the third week of January.
So Mr. Berco moved that the parliamentary procedures seminar shall be on the third week of January. Is there any other suggestion for the date?
None, Ms. Chair.
None, Mr.
So is there any second?
I second the motion.
It has been moved and seconded that the parliamentary procedure training or seminar shall be on the third week of January. Are you ready for the question?
Yes, Ms. Chair.
Yes, Chair.
As many as are in favor that it will be on the third week of January, please raise your right hand. Those against, also raise your right hand. So the majority have it, and we will have our training on the third week of January. Now, we will proceed to where it will be.
I move that it will be held at the municipal office.
I second motion.
Any other venue?
None, Ms. Chair.
Since it has been moved and seconded that we shall have it held at the municipal office, is there any other discussion?
None, Ms. Chair.
None, Ms. Chair.
We shall proceed on voting on the question. Are you ready for the question?